It is 9:20 p.m. and I just got back from the mall after watching the new Star Wars movie. So, I know this channel is mainly about Grand Theft Auto and gaming, but maybe some of you, especially the old viewers, you guys know that besides gaming and Grand Theft Auto, I absolutely love Star Wars. I've been a fan ever since I was a little girl, and I cannot express how much I love the series, how much of an appreciation I have for the series. I hope you like my new Star Wars shirt. It was a gift. Probably the best gift I've received so far this year. I cannot even get started on how I feel about the new movie. To express to you guys in a short sentence how I feel about the new Star Wars movie. Disney repaired all of the things that George Lucas broke. I loved the new movie, and I never thought I would say that because I was absolutely disappointed by the prequels, especially the first two. So I gathered some thoughts that I wanted to share with you guys because I need to talk about these things. I'm not a movie reviewer, so bear with me. Even though I'm not really gonna be reviewing anything, I'm just gonna be talking about just how I feel about the new movie experience. So let's start by the fact that I never expected there to be any more Star Wars movies. Um, before the seventh episode, the only Star Wars movie I had ever seen in theaters was Episode 4. Episode 3. Gosh, Episode 4 was in the 70s. I wasn't even planned by then. So I was probably like 6 or 7 years old when I saw it in the theaters, and um, it wasn't the same experience, obviously, because I was a little girl. I barely, understood the movie. But I remember the experience. I still remember that night when I saw it with my mom. And after that, my whole life, I've always appreciated that opportunity that I got to see the movie, even though I didn't understand it. Cause I just feel like just having the chance to see a Star Wars movie in theaters is just something to look back on, even if the movie sucked. Although Episode 3 wasn't as bad as the first two. Um, as you know, there isn't too much love for the first three movies, and I kind of share that opinion because I when I was little, I really liked the first three movies because kids don't judge things as much as teenagers, young adults, and adults. Kids always like things most of the time. And even if the movie sucks, kids always enjoy it. So I was that kid. I enjoyed them. Every time I couldn't sleep, I would put a episode 2 or something because I wanted to watch it. And even though those movies weren't great, they still hold a place in my heart because I watched them as a child. But as I got older, of course, I rewatched those movies, and I started to notice damages. Or not damages, but I started to judge it. I started to judge those movies. As you grow up, you start to like things and dislike things and start to, have an opinion about things. I even though I had a place for those movies in my heart, I started to notice that they weren't as good as the classic ones because my favorite Star Wars movie is always gonna be Episode 4. That was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw, and it's probably just the most. This is the one that holds the biggest place in my heart because I have so many memories with that movie, and just every time I think about that movie, it's like a feel good. kind of movie to me. So, you know, when I started to notice these differences in the prequels, I was just like, okay, so this is not like the classic ones. And I started to notice things that weren't great in the movies. First off, the first three movies are all like based on effects. They didn't do any special locations like the desert or the forest like Naboo's forests in Italy. Like I think they went to Italy to film those scenes for Naboo. I can't even pronounce it. Naboo. Some people say Naboo, some people say Naboo. Maybe they did, maybe they not. I haven't really researched that much, but yeah, I noticed they used a lot of visual effects. And I understand that it was new, but I feel like George Lucas, he overdid it with the effects. Like it took away the classicness of the series. Like Star Wars, the first three or actual first three movies, like episode 4, 5, 6, they were all in like awesome locations like the desert, the forests, and even they went. I think they went to Alaska or something to film all the Hoth things, and that is just something to definitely appreciate in the movie because that is hard work. I'm not saying that visual effects are not hard work, but location scouting and all that kind of stuff is like 10 times harder than hard work. And so I started to notice that, and that was like, why? You know, it would have been, those three movies would have been so much better if they were filmed in actual places. Another thing that I noticed was that they overdid the lightsaber thing. Like, if you notice in the old Star Wars movies, there's barely any lightsaber duels. Like, there's a couple, maybe. And in the first movie, the episode 4, there's like 2 lightsaber duels, and they're like very simple. And then in the prequels, in episode 1, 2, 3, like the entire 3 movies have lightsaber duels every couple of minutes. Or not every couple of minutes, but every once in a while. Like, and these lightsaber duels are incredible. I love them, but I just feel like it's too much. And if you want to keep a series classic, you need to keep some of the classicness, and because it allows people to appreciate things more. I grew up watching these prequels, and so I would always like, you know, I feel like the kids that grew up watching the prequels, they're gonna think like, oh man, the lightsaber duels and all this, but they're never gonna be able to appreciate the trueness of a lightsaber duel, the simplicity, all of that. So, you know, besides that, there's a bunch of stuff, like, there's just too much politics, and just stuff that is just boring. Like, the whole council thing and the prequels, I didn't understand any of that when I was growing up. Like, it was just boring. And those are just some of the things that I noticed. There's a lot more, but I'm already 10 minutes into this, and I don't want to keep you guys bored. As I've, you know, done research, I'm not the only one who thinks that. Actually, the prequels suck in today's society. The prequels are just, for Star Wars fans at least, like hardcore Star Wars fans, the prequels are just not that good. I feel like George Lucas just he did great with the original movies, but I don't know if it was the age, he was old or something. He didn't want to go location scouting, but I feel like he just overdid the green screens. He overdid the Jedis. There was just way too many Jedis, and he overdid the lightsaber duels, and just no, just no. And the visual effects, they were great, but there's just too many. Anyway, that said, let's talk about the new movie. So I wrote down some of the things that I thought as I watched the movie. You know, all of the Star Wars movies have a emotional touch to them, but this one was just, I don't know if it was me, but I was literally crying the whole movie. Like, the Star Wars logo appeared and I was already shedding tears. And by the time it was over, I was like literally almost sobbing. Like, not like hardcore sobbing, but like controlled sobbing, cuz I couldn't control my emotions. It was just an incredible movie. It's not my favorite, but it definitely will hold a place in my heart because that was just. Let's go back a few years when Disney bought Lucasfilm. When this happened, I was like, okay, Star Wars is over. You know, George Lucas screwed the first three prequels. Now he screwed up the whole thing because Disney just no. Because when you say Disney, you think about animated movies and kid stuff and happy and just, I'm not saying that's bad, but it's just not Star Wars. Star Wars is action, adventure, space stuff. When they announced that they were gonna make an episode 7, that I was just like, oh no, this is not gonna be good. So yeah, they announced a new Star Wars, and I was not that hyped. I was scared. I was scared that they were going to just finish it up. Like George Lucas, you know, tortured the series. Disney was just gonna finish killing it. So yeah, I was never that hyped about it. And when they announced a release date, I was still like, oh no. Then the trailer came out, and I saw it, and I saw how they went back to the classicness, and I was like, oh. So yeah, that was a little bit, it made me feel a little better. You know, I was definitely gonna watch it. I actually have my ticket. I don't know where it is. I was not expecting much from it. And then I saw it. Like I said, I cried throughout the entire movie. So if you haven't watched the movie, click this away, so don't get mad at me if I say spoilers, because I advised you. So the movie starts, and the original Star Wars logo is placed, and I'm already crying. Disney kept it classic. Guys, if you saw the first 3 prequels, the first logo, it was like this weird animation. It's awesome, but it was not like the old ones. The old one was just Star Wars. Like my shirt. It was this logo. This logo appears and it's flying away. Like that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. The movie is off to a great start. And right there I just know, okay. Disney's definitely thought this over. So everything, you know, everything is great. What basically happens in the movie is that Luke Skywalker has vanished, and you know there's a whole bunch of things going on. All right, so new characters. So in the beginning of the movie was a little bit confusing, because obviously there's new characters, new everything, and I was a little bit okay, what's going on? But you know, it doesn't take too long to actually tell you what's going on. It's not like episode 1 that takes forever to like just explain everything. All right, so you got this guy. No, the first one appears a girl. The girl is called Rey. I can't remember her last name, but I know it's Rey, R-E-Y. And this amazing character. I love, you know, her history. There's not that much history about her in the movie, but it was a great character. Very simple, very shy looking, but not too, you know, but a fighter, a great fighter. And there was also the guy, Finn, the stormtrooper. He was also great. At the beginning of the movie, I wasn't too sure because I just couldn't understand why he didn't want to be a stormtrooper. Like, they didn't explain that at the beginning, but they did afterward. As the movie progressed. Great guy, I love him. and it was definitely just awesome. There's also the new droid BB-8. I was not too excited about this, you know, him replacing R2D2, but hey, I they Disney took a leap of faith with trying new characters, and they succeeded because it's just a great little droid. Just awesome, awesome. Now the old characters, the most I was awaiting. I definitely knew that the old ones were coming back, and that's when I definitely got excited for this movie. The first two that appear are Han Solo and Chewbacca, and when I saw them, I started bawling, crying, like bawling, crying. Actually, not only that, but every time something classic appeared in Star Wars, I started crying. I just couldn't hold my emotions because this series was so huge in my childhood. It was an opportunity to me just to see this film in theaters at my age where I can, you know, understand things. The Millennium Falcon appears, which is great, and the way that it just comes back is just amazing. I laughed and I cried at the same time. I just couldn't hold it. To describe the new Star Wars movie, I would say that Disney succeeded. Disney fixed all of the things that George Lucas broke. Disney just brought the series back to life. They went back to all the classic locations. Literally, they went back to the desert, they went back to the Alaska place, snow place, they went back to the Naboo forest, they went back to all of those places. Not only there, they went back to the old ships. The visual effects were there. They were there, and they were amazing and visually stunning, but they weren't overmade, you know, and that was just incredible. I really loved the fact that Disney kept it classic. I know they're making another one. I know it because at the end of it, it just seems like they're gonna make another one because the story does not get to a conclusion. It just stays there. Like there's still gonna be more, and I cannot wait. I am about to say something that if you have not watched the movie, I suggest you turn off this video. So you have about 5 seconds, no, 10 seconds to click this on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Han Solo dies. No. This, I cried so much. Okay, it's no mystery that I cried. I probably cried the most when that happened, but he gets killed by the main enemy in the movie, which is Kylo Ren, who is Han Solo's son. Han Solo's son, what's it now? He gets killed when trying to seduce him back to the light side because he is a bad person. Han Solo tries to bring him back home, and the idiot just Han Solo has the same death as Qui-Gon Jinn, and it was just I think it was just one of the most emotional deaths in Star Wars history because Han Solo is just those characters that everyone loves. Han Solo gets killed. Leia's looking awesome still, even though she's like 60 something. And Luke, oh my gosh, Luke. When he appeared at the very end of the movie, I was just, oh my gosh. The guy looks amazing. He had like long hair and a beard, and I thought, you know, because the guy doesn't look that good, and he's never been the most good-looking guy, in my opinion. But when he appeared in this movie, he was like Dumbledore in Harry Potter. Like he was old, but he looked good. Like he looked like a wise old man. And when he appeared, I just started crying. Like I couldn't believe how he looked because I've seen pictures of him. It was just I couldn't bear the comebacks. I give it a 10 out of 10. It holds a place in my heart, and it will always hold a place in my heart. I have not seen the reviews of it yet on the internet. I have not seen any kind of review on this movie, so this is just all of it is just my personal opinion. Um, Maybe I will develop other opinions as I watch the movie more, but I just loved it. It was great. It was just a modern comeback, and I can't wait for the 8th one. It's almost 10 p.m. I started this at 9:20. I've been talking for 40 minutes, pretty much, about a movie. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though it has nothing to do with any of the things I do in my channel, but I just needed to talk. I needed to say what I think about this movie because it was just amazing. I hope you guys are doing well. I sure am. I just finished school yesterday, which was a huge relief. And this was definitely a great start to my Christmas vacation 2015. I don't know if this was much of a great video because I'm not good at keeping reviews and stuff organized, but I will be posting more videos soon. I definitely have a video planned that I want to release to you guys because it's about my channel. Goodbye, guys, and may the force be with you.